Here's your Jazel Auto News update for November 1st.
And our first story today is the UAW has come to an agreement with at least a few of the automakers, GM and Ford. They have some tentative agreements, including pay raises of about 25% for their hourly workers.
That's huge. It's good to see that that's finally kind of, coming to a close there. And, it really seems like their methods must have worked. Because I, for one, was expecting this to kind of drag on. And, it seems like, they kind of got what they asked for.
And Kia has updated the 2025 Carnival minivan, and I think it actually looks pretty good. Got a little bit more modern styling, and as minivans go, I think it's probably one of the better looking ones.
Yeah, and hats off to them for making it look more like a very nice SUV than a traditional minivan. And I think that's going to be a really good approach because nobody really, I'd say, loves the look of the minivan. What they love is the functionality of one. So if you can have the best of both, it's probably going to sell well.
And at this year's Tokyo Auto Show, we saw quite a few concepts unveiled by a few different automakers. The first one being the Subaru Sports Mobility concept, which is kind of like their take on an electric muscle car.
Yeah, that was the one that has all-wheel drive is going to be an included feature, they're saying, right?
Yeah.
That always makes me very nervous because I know it's gone terribly wrong in past iterations of it with other OEMs, but if they can pull it off, it'll be pretty interesting.
And the next concept that was shown is one that probably looks a little bit closer to production, actually, which is the Honda Prelude, which is kind of returning as a sporty coupe with hybrid powertrain.
I know a ton of people are going to be stoked for the return of the Prelude. It's kind of a fan favorite for those who didn't necessarily dig the Civic as much or whatever. But, I really like that, it still even looks like a Prelude too. It's not completely changed.
And Mitsubishi showed off their DX concept, which is kind of their take on a futuristic off-road minivan, similar to the Delica vans that they've sold in Japan for many years.
Yeah, it really does look like a space rover. But what I dig the most about it is that see-through, the see-through the hood, to where you get like a video of what's in front of the vehicle, which is pretty cool. And that would be a huge game changer for the off-roading community, which people are already doing that with front-facing cameras and stuff. But the way that they're mocking it up looks pretty cool.
And Toyota revealed a few concepts as well, including the FT3E, which is kind of like a new SUV, and then the FTSE, which is their electric sports car concept.
Yeah, on the FT3E, it's kind of got some Tesla Cybertruck vibes on the front grille there. And then it's interesting, they're doing kind of the same thing with having more screens than hard buttons, which seems to be a growing fad. And I think some people are definitely mixed on it. I'd say it's probably just going to be like the way things are going in the future, but us who are kind of used to having knobs and buttons are going to be kind of confused, I think, for a little while.
Yeah, and then the sports one's kind of interesting. They kind of actually took like a more minimalistic approach, kind of opposite of the other one, with only like one screen really, kind of in the center, traditional instrument cluster, and supposedly they're working on adding a fake manual transmission to these, which is kind of an odd idea. And Nissan unveiled what is probably going to be the precursor to the new GTR, their electric hyperforce concept, which looks definitely a lot meaner, I think, looking than the current GTR.
Yeah, it absolutely looks like out of a Batman movie. And it kind of has some Cybertruck-ish type lines and, kind of the hard lines to the body, like we're seeing some of these new concept cars come out.
And our last story is Mazda showed off their iconic SP concept, which is a hybrid rotary powered electric sports car, and kind of very different, very smooth lines, kind of in contrast to some of these more angular concepts that have been shown.
Yeah, what's super interesting about this one is that instead of a true hybrid where it either has a electric motor or a gas powered motor, depending on the load on the engine, it sounds like what it's going to be is a rotary engine that powers the electric motors, which is really interesting. And I wonder if maybe that's going to be the best platform for that rotary engine that have typically had some like apex seal issues. So maybe having less load and compression on it will allow it to like actually meet its optimal performance.
Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to follow Jazel on all social media platforms, and make sure to follow us and subscribe and like to know when new content's coming soon.